I always get asked by students, Miss King, why do I have to know this? Why do we have to take tests? Why do we have so many quizzes? And we're going to actually kind of talk about that today with the examination system that we're going to see in the Tang and Song dynasties, but it actually is a really great thing for the government. And so we're going to kind of deep dive into that a little bit more today. So our aim is that we're going to continue to identify main ideas and details about the Tang and Song dynasties. The do now will take you about 2 minutes. Notes are going to be 7 to 10, and then practice is about 20 minutes. You're going to need everything you normally need, so keep that in mind. I want you to really bring your um, creative thinking because there's a couple questions that are graded today. Well, they're all graded, but there's a couple that really ask for you to kind of get into your brain a little bit. And you're not going to find the answer in the text. All right, so today is National Corn Chip Day. So if you like chips and salsa, today is your day. So for the do now, you have this map of the Tang and Song dynasties, and you are just going to do questions 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 3, you don't need to do, just 1 and 2. So you can go ahead and pause. All right, so for number 1, describe the route of the Silk Road. The Silk Road began in Chang'an, right here where that star is, and it crossed Central Asia through the dynasty. So that orange is the Tang dynasty, and the route clearly just crosses all the way through. And then what area did both the Tang and Song dynasties control? They both, so the orange is the Tang, and then the Song is whatever is inside the purple border. So they both ruled this Eastern Asia region near the Yellow Sea and the East China Sea. And you could even say the South China Sea too if you wanted to. All right, so we have 3 words today. Our first word is scholar officials. So these are basically highly educated men, because women couldn't take it. Highly educated men who pass the civil service exam. Um, so kind of think of when you to graduate high school, you have to pass the graduation test, the Ohio OGT. Same thing, same concept. That's how you become like a college student, right? You graduate from high school, you pass the test, you took the SATs, all of that, and now you are moving up, and so you are now becoming a college student or scholar official. The merit system are just people. This is a system where people are hired and promoted based on talent and skill, not like social status or wealth. So in other societies, we've seen um, people born into power, essentially. The merit system is like you need to earn it and you need to work your way to get what you want. You're not just born ruling the country. You have to work your way up. And then urbanization is just the growth of cities. So one thing everyone always asks me, Miss King, like, what do they have to know? Like, what is this exam? What do they have to be able to do on the exam? So during the Tang Dynasty, the exams themselves were now more sophisticated. They were regularly held. They were, kind of like special events leading up to it. And then think about, so they were like scheduled tests, similar to how, you walk in on comp day and you walk in, on comp day, you sit down, you take a test, and that's it. It's like it's scheduled, it's a system. But the things that you really had to know for those tests are outlined right here. So it tested your writing, and then it tested calligraphy. And calligraphy is just a type of writing. It's decorative. Formal essay writing. So what I want you to think about is as I go through this list, like think about what do you learn in school, and are there similarities? Writing and calligraphy, formal essay writing techniques, classic literature, math, legal matters, government matters, poetry, and then clear and coherent speaking, which is called oration. So making sure that people can hear you and understand you. And then this was a fun fact I found that only 1% of examinees actually pass it, but you could retake it. So, just to deep dive, and this is one of those questions where I really want you to think, is the United States, the society that we live in, considered a merit system? Why or why not? And I need you to provide examples to support your response and view. So go ahead and pause and answer that question. Take as much time as you need. So this is just because for you, I think it's a really good resource. I always have students that um, we use these words urban, rural, suburb, and like you can explain them, but like this is visually what they look like so you can compare them. So here we have the urban, it's like a city, bustling city, looks like downtown Columbus even, right? Then you have rural, which is, you see down here the cows and the farms and homes are very, they're not very close together. There's some decent amount of space in between the homes. And then over here you have the suburbs where it's just calm, it's lots of houses, it's quiet, there's not really any of the other two things or the other two settings kind of going on. It's like a neighborhood. So again, kind of thinking into those three categories based off the chart, which category do you see Columbus fitting into? And then explain your answer. All right, the examination system. Sorry, my nose is so stuffy. Civil service examinations are tests required for people to work for the government. The Han Dynasty introduced these tests in China. The Tang and Song expanded their use. The highly educated men who passed the civil service examinations were known as scholar officials. They qualified for the government jobs. The examinations were based on the teachings of Confucius. We're going to talk about Confucius more in a couple days, so if you're confused about Confucius, you won't be confused about Confucius in a couple days. They were difficult and few students passed. Wealthy men were most able to spend years studying. During the Tang, some officials earned positions through the exam system. However, the majority still received positions because of family connections. So even though they're saying, oh, we have this merit system, you have to earn it to get it, it still is very like one-sided because if you were working and you were lower class, you didn't have time to study, and if you didn't have just time to study, you didn't pass the test. But if you were wealthy, you didn't have to work, so you had time to study, and you were more likely to pass the test. So it's like kind of like double standard. During the Song dynasty, the test became part of a merit system. In a merit system, people are hired and promoted based on talent and skills rather than wealth or social status. The government opened schools that even poor students could attend. Passing higher level exams could lead to promotions, but scholar officials also had to perform their jobs well. By preventing corruption and promoting the best officials, Song rulers tried to maintain good government. Officials were supposed to act honestly and efficiently. No cutting corners. A later dynasty, the Ming, made new rules for officials. They could not serve in their home district, where they might do favors for family and friends. Makes sense. They also changed jobs every 3 years so that they could so they could not build up too much power. That sounds familiar. What does that sound like in U.S. government? Yeah, terms, right? Like a president can only serve 2 terms of 4 years, that type of thing. They're doing that just um, they're doing that over here in China so that these officials don't get too powerful. So our question is, how did the civil service exam contribute to good government? I read this whole chunk, but I remember specifically in my head one sentence that did mention good government. So I'm going to kind of scan through really quick and try and find that little blurb, looking for the keywords good government. Okay, right here. Cool. So how did the civil service exam contribute? It prevented corruption and promoted the best officials. So the civil service exam prevented corruption, and promoted the best officials. Now, once you get that, you're going to move on. You'll read about the Tengen Song growth, and then you will be good to go. So, have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.